Top of the morning, laddies, or morning or day, or morning and night. So, welcome to the What If Zuko, or is he, was the powerfulest, like, basically, none of everything. So, let's begin with. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Inko and whatever, or her her husband were in this church thing, kind of like cult, but it's a so restrictive that no kids can even be allowed inside. Remember that? They so when one day he Inko wanted a kid. So then a couple days had passed. She had was Zuko, and then the the their like their worshippers things. I'll just call them worshippers. Says that you have violated that, so your son is no longer. So they told her that she has to abandon that child. But out of the sorry, give me 1 minute. A certain old man, him, I'm just using the Seven Deadly Sins one. So he could predict the future, because so he walked over and saw when he looked at Zuko, he or he could saw into his future thing, and he saw was the God has returned, because way back before, then or actually after Ngan died and no one retrieved his power thing. So so a couple of years or couple of days later, or I call it a couple of days later, but the later they Inko and her husband, they got a new guy. He kind of looks like him, him, but little, little less blue hair and way more like a rainbow hair. Told them to get rid of him. So they basically abandoned him. Oh, before I go any further, this is what I'm saying. Okay? This is what I'm saying to you all. It's my character. At first is like, it's really sad at first. And when I said all the kids got banned and thing, or like forbidden, so Inko and where is he? Sashi had another kid, or actually two kids. One called Zumi, and one was. This is in my what if. Was you could see his face with the scars. In this what if, Shiraki-sen was part of Zuku Who's family. That guy. So, but both of them got kidnapped. So by All for One. And before I got too ahead of myself, the Zuku Zuku got taken into UA by Nezu, the principal. Because, and like when he was a kid, like little, he always wanted to become a hero. And so he did. And Nezu was helping him and secretly, but he's not an abusive one. As I'm smacking my hands, he's not abusive, but he taught him how to like fight and do all that stuff. So then when Zuko got to 15, man, oh man, he kind of looked like this, but without any armor, without any. But he had like this kind at 15. He had a biggest shirt that they could even find or actually made. So then, sorry. So, and Shiraki and them got the opposite one. But Shiraki-sen and Zumi got, every time they went to bed, they see Zuku's, or their brother's face. And, and, and so then they were like, yep, that's how it is. So then, hey, it bothered him a lot. So when he was, or when, that's when he woke up, the kind thing. So they were just so like mind controlled thing. They couldn't even remember their own brother's name. So then Gumi was like telling herself, but she knew, or she doesn't know. So when, sorry if that was confusing, but it's part of that. So Zuko wanted to have fun. Or that quiz thing. Or where is he? So Nezu told Zuko, don't worry about a written test. Just if you want to have fun playing with a robot things, go right ahead. He says, thanks a lot. So he met was so it started, so Zuko went through the 1-pointers, 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and when he saw the big robot pointer, he did the same face, that face. So, but then he was like, oh, I'm so gonna, like, whole lot of them. So he basically, at first he ran away, but before, when he turned around and saw Ochako just laying on underneath some rubble, he went from cute face thing to about more serious. Like, he says, it's time for the 0-pointer robot to die. So he ran, he lifted a boulder up off of and threw it, took Ochako back, or before Ochako even got up. He, you know those like one scenes that every anime has, where a most overpowered character always has their hand up with some, and like heavy as a boulder, like 20 times their size. Like So the robot hand was gonna smash them, but Zuko caught it and actually like picked it up, threw it over. Like how strong he was. Everyone was like, what the heck? Or like say Deku threw who and like threw it all the way across the entire football fields. Hills kind. So then the there was not just one 0-pointer. There was about 3. I was gonna say 5, but then 3. Hey, so oh the and if you are wondering what the heck is this thing, it's a All Might bird. In my what if, Zook, who, or before the, like, My Hero Academia Class 1A one, there was a past Class 1A, and he accidentally turned All Might into All Might Chicken. So that's why I'm laughing about it. So, he took out 3 0-pointers with about 1 second because of his awesomeness. His quirk activated, if you all didn't know. But it only lasts about 1 minute. But Zuko needed that 1 minute to take care of all 3 robots. So then, oh, and Ochako in My What If, she had, so she ends up, of course, but Hakugo in My What If is more calmer instead of like being like, oh, I'm gonna use explosions to become number 1. So then they were kind of like dating, but then when Ochako met Deku, or actually, so I'm skipping the heroes versus villains thing, because Zuko, whose team already won really fast. Like, him and, see, who else was it? All these. Don't worry, I'm not taking any of them out of the story to like add anyone in. So all or sorry. So he got paired up with Mina, that pink-haired girl, or pink-hair girl. Just realized when I'm looking at her, looks like she's got possessed by a devil. So, in their villains things was actually, trying to think, was Momoe Rozu and Deki, or that human Pikachu guy. And sorry if I'm stumbling over my words. They just woke up about a couple minutes, so hey. And don't worry about these ones. These are the just, I got bored last night. So now, so then at the USJ, Zuko was pretty happy, excited. So then, when they were getting to there, from a bus thing, that Frebbit girl, the one that's in the middle, or her, she asked whose everyone's quirks are. And they went all the way around everyone else except for Zuko. And Zuko got tested for the quirk thing, but they said that he doesn't have a quirk. But everyone else finds that weird. So when they got to USJ and they walked in, and when the villains like came, and their leader was him, and then her, but they were wearing like kind of like Bleach's mask from that anime one. Where they all wear like these weird masks, hides their true form. So then when they were like, "Oh, we're here to kill All Might," and but when he was looking around, but when he saw Zuko, and so did Zumi, they both froze. Like, they both froze to not. So they told Anomu to kill everybody, every hero. But so then Zuko, him, pulls out these blades out of thin air. One was blinding light of the heavens. The other was complete darkness. It was swords of the chaos thing. So one of the students looked at him like, "What? You can pull the creation or pull, like, you could make your own swords out of thin air. Everybody was, or so Zuko says, yep, and me, as he went down, like he flew down, sliced the dice, everybody, every villain, every, not Lang, or he killed a Nomu so fast that it was like done. Because, and everybody saw, like, Zuko's as rampage. They all did the same face. Wait, they're like, wait, what? And then when the blades disappeared, he becomes more powerful. And only person that finds that really, really cool was actually that red guy, the one near Bakugo. Him, he actually says, that's cool, man. Everybody agrees with him. But him, he was like, this boy's pretty powerful. Powerful to take on the entire army by himself. Remember that saying? I think back then was one night, or no, actually it was in Seven Deadly Sins. The one night equals to 100 men in the entire army. So Shiraki-sen walks over to Zuko, and he wasn't like reaching out and decaying his body thing, but he asked him, "What's your name, kid?" As he says, he went from that to that, or actually he stayed it there, and he says, "My name is Zuko Midoriya." But when he was like, "What?" So did in his, or Zuko's sister was like, both of them, or of course Kirikiri warps both of them away. And so then when they left, or they were getting back to their, like, or actually dorms were implemented, there was one room for Zuko. So, and Nezu went and asked Zuko, or actually told him a truth, or actually not the, when so anything, but all for one knew that Zuko was at UA. So then Shiraki-sen asked All for One if, like, who was that? Or actually, he wanted to know. But, of course, actually, not then. It was All for One went and straight up told them that I can't do his voice, but I'll do it deeper. Hello. Oh, Shiraki-san and Zumi. That boy that you saw earlier was actually your brother. Zuko Midoriya is your brother. And when they heard that, they were shocked. That. So then the next couple days, or like 2 weeks, have passed. And then the sports festival, I'm skipping that part, but the heroes just, during the like internship thing, the Zuko, they all thought he had fire breath because of, and all that stuff. But only 2 people that were watching it was Inko and Astashi. Both of them went in and actually saw Zuko and the internship that he's going into was actually Endeavor's. I was gonna say the old man, but there's a reason when All Might didn't even give One for All to Zuko. Not yet, until he was fully prepared. Or until he proves himself to be worthy of it. So he says, okay, whatever. He was so Endeavor and him and Todoroki, they all 3 of them went on patrol and did, like, they encountered 10 Nomus, but Zuko used, I wish I had that blade thing in the one that it kind of looked like twice as like length, but it's pretty big, or not big, but the Chaos Blade sliced right through Nomu's like they were block of cheese. Or it's like a hot knife through butter kind. Like one slice, then they were done. And then so Bakugo, or not Bakugo, Todoroki, or no, not Todoroki, but Zuko was pretty fast on his feet, so he took care of a hero killer stain. And when in the distance, seeing like he saw his own brother battling against it. He actually says to himself quietly in his head, saying, "One day, brother, we will reunite." So then, so then after hero killer Stain got put in custody by Zuko, but he is there, and he gave him a official name of kind of everything. Or I was gonna say like God of the Infinity stuff, but then I was like, he's basically a powerful one. And if you were wondering what Zumi's power in this what if, well, Zuko has infinity, kind like he's a god of infinity, or has God's powers, and his brother has zero, not powerless, but has zero. And I'm keeping his decay quirk in. And plus, then Zumi was chaos, right between. So they were pretty powerful by themselves. One of them could destroy the entire armies. 3, it could destroy the entire world. So then now, well, Nezu, where is he? Nezu told, or actually wanted to talk to Zuko. So Zuko walked in and they talked, and Nezu told Zuko that, well, we kind of do need, or have you noticed anything that when you saw those two at the USJ, as Zuko was, he says no, but you probably are gonna tell me about them. As Nezu says, well, those 2 leaders of that villain group is actually your brother and your sister. When he heard that, he was super duper shock. So then, and about that Inko, or not Inko, Ochako and Bakugo thing. They were still dating. Or actually, not still dating, but he kind of looked like a normal kid, so, or they, Ochako, no, sees him as the weakest one of the bunch. So then, but she still is dating Bakugo for it. Because she wants power of. So then, like, camp art thing, he trained so much. He was like that, but he was even more dying thing. And he, like, even once, he actually hit the boulders or hit a mountain, and it didn't dent the front of him. But when they're like, dude, you're a literal weakest, as Zuko says, or actually gave them like, come on, go around, as they literally go around, and when he saw was a giant crater, looked like a meteor just hit the ground without them even knowing. And then when one of those guys, mostly him, or all of them, wish I had a picture of them all having their jaws open, kind of like him, but they all like saw his power, or like he comes in full swing, and all the pro heroes in my what if had respect for Zuko because how powerful he is. So every single one, but one day, Ochako and Momo and I forget their name. So Jiro and Frabbit, that girl, was, or yeah. So they were like outside talking, laying, and or actually, and Mina almost forgot about her. So or all five of them, went and told, or actually, they were talking, and Mina brought up a question of who would you like the most, as it was like a little game thing. So Mina asked Jiro first, and Jiro sorry. Waffle. Alright. I always had a thing in my throat. So Jiro likes Denki. And Momo who likes Todoroki, and but then when got to between or went to Ochako, or no, not Ochako, but Frabbit and girl, you know what she says? She actually says to them that I in Zuko, and all five of them, it was like a middle of the night thing, and everybody else was sleeping. So Monoma, or her, that pink-haired girl, says, "No, Farron, I chose Zuko too," as they both had reasons. Lang. So then Ochako, she ends up getting blushed by even the thought of Zuko. But sadly, she chose Bakugo, so she really doesn't like. But when nothing too surprises her, so then the Class 1B showed up and they had that thing. But in this What If, the League of Villains wanted Zuko, only Zuko, not one of those cats or wild cats things. No. But they kidnapped him, and he says, "Wakey, wakey, brother." As he woke up, like, really. And he, of course, Zumi's like, well, you're pretty lucky. Muscular was gonna tear you to pieces when you were sleeping. Even so, then everybody, at the same time, everybody was confused. Why did they have to target Zuko? So then, Toga Murphy, or I don't have a picture of her, but Toga had a special ability. So then, actually, all for one, sorry, let me organize my brain. So, every student that you see before you, except for Zuko and Mr. Aizawa was, they all were so worried about Zuko being a target because or not Todoroki. Actually, Bakugo was kind of upset at Zuko the most of the time. He loves Ochako, or actually adores Chaco Ho. Oh, so, but still upset. It's kind of like yin yang thing. So then, the Tails guy, I forget his name, the one that, if I don't know how to pronounce his name, but him, he was like, why did they have to take away Deku first? Or is he a literal weakest one? As it was actually Eraserhead says no, he is the most powerfulest one. He is opposite, too powerful for all of us to handle. As all of them are like had confused ones, like wait what? As Mr. Aizawa, I'll just say that, says or explains that he says, well, see, Zuko is the gun of infinity, or everything. He's basically none of creations, or he was born with this much power inside of his body already. So, as Ochako decides, or actually, Bakugo wasn't irritated at all. Because after he heard that from Eraserhead, he went from angry at Zuko. He was mostly worried about him. So then, when and her Ochako was like, huh, yep, never doubted him for a second. So, because in the Heroes vs. Villains thing, where like All for One's fight, actually, he alerted them by using this is his signature move, blinding light. That's his move, and it destroyed everything around him, and it pinpointed his location. Like, that's our cue right there. As all the pro heroes, including All Might, Heyman, did the same thing. And All for One says, well, your brother and your sister, or actually, Zuko was the first one up. So he says, as he says, well, you got teleported. And I hope that you're ready for, because he said that Zuko, or he says your brother and your sisters have failed me once, but now you're pretty powerful. As he reached his hand out and grabbed Zuko's arm, like so. But he says, oh, I missed a spot. Sorry. So he says, you're not taking anyone's quirk today. But but you need, as he like literally, or he actually became a gun thing. Like he went from a happy kid with them to being like none of everything. He actually went, or the news helicopter thing came and was watching, and when when all the class 1A, or in this what if none of them went and actually did save Zuko from, so he was pretty powerful. So he says, well, it looks like time for you to be gone from my... Or actually, he says, it's time for you to be out of existence. As the only two people that actually was still in sleep was him and his sister, Esther. But they both realized now that their brother, or when they got up, they saw their brother turned into the God's form. Or, like, literally. Thinking this, I'm not turning him into, like, Godzilla one. So then when every single person that they... Of course, they didn't do any crimes, it's just... So, then when he looked at All For One with such tense rage, both him and his sister are actually his brother and Zumi. Sorry, I was burping, so his sister and her brother could tell that Zuko is the powerfulest one, embodiment of hands itself. So, when Inko saw her son on TV, and the cult, or where the worshippers where they left her one message, or they called her and told them that they're sorry for doubting them. So then, when Zuko like actually killed All For One, like just straight up erased him from history. And then when he says, Not the results that I was looking for, but hey, he did the same thing. So his so only people that were left to witness it was actually him or his brother and Zumi. So both of them, because as he says, I still forgive you about those things happened at USJ. As he says, as he turns and because he had everything, he has a God's knowledge too. So he looks into the future and he saw what happened in the future. As he turns around, looks at the hospital thing, because him wasn't he was just temporary leader thing. But the only one true leader was the villain called himself not Dobby, don't worry. But it was actually, yeah, Dobby. So Dobby, he saw Dobby, and when he went to the villain's true base thing, he actually went right to the real lab was, not a fake lab. Fake lab was on top, the bottom lab was real one. So he went and took care of the quirk doctor thing. And so he says, or actually his brother says, I know that, so Nezu, who says, I know that you two are just victims of that, but don't worry, you're the, because Zuko was, or actually in that All for One's fight thing against Zuko, All Might was coming, but he misses it. Ends up being late. So he saw Zuko's true power revealed. Don't worry, he wasn't gonna punch him, not that kind of. So he literally took care of that guy, the doctor, quirk doctor, whatever his name is. But he ends up, where at the, put him behind bars and all that stuff. But All Might was a little bit upset at it was a personal one. He says, Zuko and punch you for the turning me into a chicken like a couple weeks ago or a couple years ago. Zuko says, "Sure, don't worry, I won't hold it against you." As he used full smash thing and ends up hitting Zuko right in the jaw. But he didn't even flinch once. He didn't even fly backwards. That shocks everybody. Like, what the heck? So, Zuko. But. Alright. So, I had a frog in my throat. And so, All Might, like, he actually proved himself. Zuko proved himself. Oh, to to actually have one for all. So he gave it to him, and he was wielding so much power, and he, because at first he was like, no, thank you. So, so because he actually proved himself so much that Zuko was now unstoppable. Like so then the cults worship him as a god. And he passed that, whatever that, like, dodgeball thing. And so then when Ochako at the camp thing, actually she had personal thing to sort out. So you know what she did? Or actually, hold on. I'm getting too ahead of myself. So she actually says to to Zuko, or she says, or actually she was like trying to talk to herself away from everybody. She's trying to like decide who's gonna her date thing. So Bakugo knows that if Zuko, or if Ochako dates Zuko instead of him, he would just be okay with it. So then Ochako went, or actually, like, after All for One thing, she ends up dating Zuko instead. And I know it went from her dating or dating Bakugo to dating Zuko. Yeah. Well, most of this what if was Ochako dating Bakugo through the most entire thing. And then when she went to Zuko, when she saw Zuko's power level and against the All for One, and she says, or actually when they got back to like their dorms, Ochako who decides to say, Zuko, what happened? You were literally went from literal weakest person in class 1A, but how is this possible that you have this much power? As the deku says, well, I have these powers because I was born with it. And so Zumi says, yep, that's my big dumb brother. Or he knows how to fight like a couple of morons. Or actually, he knows how to fight, but so he says, well, because through the entire what if, yeah, Zuko was pretty powerful. How powerful you might say? He basically, with his brother and his sister, could take out the entire multiverse, universe, everything. So, sorry about that. So, when only 3 people that were fighting over Zuko was Ochako, Frebbit, and Maya. I still can't pronounce her name. So, and if you all are, so Zuko is quite literally powerful enough to destroy everything. But no. So they and because they were treated or actually not treated, but mistreated by All for One, but Zuko like took away their like dark memories things and add happy ones. So then they were like, okay. And during the overhauls thing, all three of them. So, and during that all throw thing, or whatever that's called, they, like, her group thing was also warp thing worshippers. So when they saw his, they worship him. Thing. So they all end up like, oh, I'm gonna rule the universe thing. But so they're like, wow, it looks like he went from being nobody to, or actually before Zuko came, a little bit later, because he was grabbing some bite to eat. Mr. Aizawa says to the entire class that Zuko, who is he was the first class, or he was the first student at this UA high school. When everybody heard that, there was like, what the heck? They had all the mixed emotions. So then when, like, one time, he accidentally used his power to try to flatten the entire hand, but ends up turning everybody into little kids. And until 3 hours. And they went through everything. Like, so Zumi said as to Ochako, do you like my brother? And she blushes. The Ochako blushes so much. And when she says, how do you know that? And I'm asking because that's what she's saying. And she says, well, every time you look at him, you seem to have more enthusiasm for him instead of Bakugo. Oh. And in this what if, Bakugo has this. It's only a Bakugo has. So, Bakugo, had a crush on Zuko, or Zumi's, or Zuko's sister. So then, and he says, or actually, his brother says, well, it's kind of funny. He was laughing at his brother, and he says, what? Because him, or I'll just say Shiraki-sen, better to say Shiraki-sen, says, well, you're pretty funny. Yeah, but these people, or these humans, are funny. They're all right. As they both look and they see. Hold on, They see Ochako, Frabbit, and Mina, and that invisible girl. Were all fighting over Azuku. Because they saw his power. Not just not class 1A. And plus class 1B. Only people that see kids is Big Hands Girl, whatever her name is, the one that has green hair. And horns, mushrooms, and every girl that's in this picture was fighting over Zuku because they and all the boys had respect for him. Like he was a one true gun thing. And the worshippers walked up to him and says, or actually he, what do you want, or, sorry, the worshippers actually asked Zuku, we are your servants, so as he tells them, don't worry, because he had a kind soul. Like, he had so much kindness that he actually told them that I'm so kind-hearted, I would rather help everybody in need. Like, they knew that Zuku is their gun. Because, but then overhaul thing, sorry. So overhaul had, like, so his brother and him and his sister went and attacked, basically. So during that meeting thing, I almost forgot about that meeting thing, that the all pro heroes meet up thing, was actually, so it's similar to canon. So the lockdown was making fun of his Shiraki-sen, or his brother, to being like, oh, he's a villain, he shouldn't be here, and all that stuff. But when Zuko got upset, he just looked at him, like looked at Lockdown, and nailed him into the wall. Not very pretty thing. Like, just straight up nailed him right into the wall. So then, Sir Night Eyes were, as like, Zuko, calm down. So then, when all of them were like doing their thing, Zuko was like, yep. So then Bakugo, or not Bakugo, so all of them, because, and both of them, or all of them, so then he showed his true power on Overhaul, and man, it went down in the flames. So, and Zumi she has the power of the perfect cube, so she perfect cubed the entire area. Yeah. So then they were like, okay, boom, boom, boom. But so Shiraki-sen, that Zuko's brother, always had doubts about his brother being all powerful. Or actually, he was proud of, or is proud of him. He's just the. How does he become so superior? And Zuko was pretty powerful, and so then they all did their thing, and of course, actually, Ochako was his parents. Like her parents, actually told her, don't date Bakugo. Date like Deku, or get married to Deku. So she says, okay. It's her real parents that said that, not her fake parents. Not like the tricks one. So then, so one day, Ochako and Zuko were walking down to class, or walking to school, and Ochako went, or actually told Zuko that have anyone, or because after all that stuff, and it was the show thing, she ends up, or actually Zuko, who says, or actually she says, "Are you gonna be in the talent show thing?" And he says, "Well, no, but I'm just gonna be watching it from because crime rate when everybody saw his power, the crime rate went from 9999 all over the place to 0. Like there was no crimes because no one wants to be on Zuku's radar thing. So then, all right, his own like brother or him he ends up like saying, "Huh," or actually, Ochako went from being a living on Bakugo to like to getting married to Zuko real fast. It's just like that Naruto thing. The spoilers. The pink girl, or not pink girl, forget her name, from Naruto's, that she always wears a pink vest and was dating the dark guy. And then she ends up, a few minutes later, ends up dating Naruto thing. Well, kind of like that, but more. So, so, so she actually did say in this, can we, as he says, of course, Earth, Earth, to keep a power from losing it again. Okay? Of course you will, yeah. Because this is what he says. Of course you would get marry me, right? Or of course you get married. Because how powerful he was, she went from that to like blushing. Because she said, as to her, or says, how do you people know that I have engagements for? Of course, then the so then the pro heroes, or they actually, Zuko performed his outside. Nobody was watching. He created his own flame thing. Like he just like straight up. He created his own flame dragon when he was like it flies around like a infinity symbol, doing all that stuff, making like a little coin, flipping, like all that stuff. only person that really saw it was actually how will I put this? His brother saw it. Like, you don't have a talent. You're not in a talent show, but you still perform tricks for yourself, huh? As he says, yep, it's how I roll. Well, how's that dating Ochako thing working out for you? Because they, all of them, are so all of them. I'm on my bed, so all of them. So only, actually, not just one person, but there was three. Him and Shiraki-san and I'm putting her in class 1B, so and her. So they he was so it was the during one of the or not it was after the one of the talent shows thing, and everybody went outside, and they all saw his, like, they saw his own dragon do like quick things and flies around and all that stuff. Oh, like with his fingers. All right. And then his sister was like, "That's my brother for you. He always steals the show from all of us." Because when they saw that, they were like, "Okay, Zuko, good job." So then, that's basically it, because before things get too crazy. So, see you in probably this week or next week, or see you later. So, bye-bye. See you in a new What If. So, peace out, Cub Scout, and before I go, please leave that like button, subscribe, and or else else Toga might come after ya. Just kidding. Hey? Huh. So, that's why. And do you like my art thing? And all these, like, I actually drew that one out by myself. Okay? And only part that I missed was his above eyebrow thing like right underneath his eyebrow and above his eye. Okay? So have fun with all y'all, and good night or day. Okay? Based off of time zone.